We're now going to look at CSS cascading style sheets in some detail, and what I want you to do is, for this tutorial, we're going to work with a template. A pre-built template is available inside Dreamweaver CS3, and what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the template, we're going to use a template, and we're going to modify the template so it runs a cascading style sheet. Now before we begin, it's worth mentioning there's two types of CSS style sheets. There's an internal and there's an external. The internals are also referred to as an embedded style sheet too. So we're going to now work with an embedded style sheet and an internal style sheet. And don't get daunted, we're not going to actually hand write any of the code. We'll get Dreamweaver to do the coding for us. So let's go ahead and start. The first thing I want you to do is go back to your home page. You can click your CSS Zen Garden style sheet if you still have it open. We'll bring you back to our home page, our startup page, and what we're going to do is I want you to go ahead and select Starter Page Theme, and I'm going to go ahead and have a look at the Health and Nutrition home page, and the document type is XHTML 1.0 transitional, and select Create. And you'll notice that once you've done that, Dreamweaver has basically given you another dialog box appears. And that dialog box, it basically wants you to save the document in an appropriate directory. You can browse for a directory and save the file. I'm just going to save it as test and click save. The next dialog box will say copy dependent files. Basically what this is saying is Dreamweaver requires some dependent files to generate the website appropriately. So you can see in the background I've got elements missing. I have a few images inside here which are missing from the existing template, which is required for the website to be whole. So in other words, as stated before, website is a collection of images. It's basically, a website is a collection of files. It's basically missing some of those files which are images, and it needs to specify a folder. We can go ahead and say click copy. Copy will copy those files over to our directory. And you can see that it's now done. So if we view this in a browser, we can now see it's open up in a browser for us to look at, and you can see it's got all the relevant images and some type for us to work with. Now one important thing to mention, this, by the looks of this already has an embedded style sheet inside the actual code, but it's okay. I want to show you how we can use and create our own one and change that anyway. I'm going to minimize that. And the first thing I'm going to do is, one of the easiest ways to create an internal style sheet is by using the page properties. The page properties gives you an opportunity to change the look, the link color, a number of the features associated with the design of the page without writing code. So we can go ahead and click page properties from your properties panel, and you'll see the first category is appearance. So what we can do is we can specify a page font. We can specify a font, a series or collection of fonts using Arial, Helvetica and Sans Serif. I'm going to change this to, say for example, Times and Times New Roman. And we've got size, we've got 11 pixels, I'll change that to 12. And the text color we've got, which is specified by the hexadecimal color, I'm going to change that to black. And we can also specify a background image. I'm not going to do that at the moment. And finally at the bottom you've got left, right, top, bottom margins. And what basically this does is it creates a space around your website. Now this is really important because basically what this is doing, each modification here that we're changing is making a change in the code view of our page and of our XHTML. So basically it's generating its own CSS code for us. So let's go ahead and have a look at this. What I'm going to do is type in 20 for each of those margins. And I'm going to go ahead and click apply, and you can see what's happened. It's basically moved our website in the middle and it's created this white space around there. So if I go ahead and click OK and press Ctrl S, save that, and open up my browser and simply refresh that, you'll see, just going to close this, you'll see that you've got now created a white space or white border around the actual browser window, which looks quite cool, and I've got it on my other side as well for those of you at home can't see. We can go ahead and change that back to 10. 20 is a bit excessive. And again, we can go ahead and click apply and click OK, and you can see those necessary changes. In the next video, I'll continue to work through the page properties, and then in the end we'll have a look at the CSS code that we've generated.